Cool toys. Oh my god, the show.
Welcome to the Heroes World Quarantine Podcast. That was amazing, Pat. Thank you. Welcome to the show where we talk about all things science fiction, comics, superheroes, and fantasy. So these are the conversations we have in the store, and we're sharing it with you today. My name is Stu, and I am your host. Joined with me today, as always, are the owners and proprietors of Heroes World, both John and Andre.
Hey
Howdy,
guys,
folks.
how are you?
Prince of Mischief, Rob Cadet.
And
And joining us for
Pirate
the
of Mischief.
yes, and joining us for the
Arr,
beginning,
arr.
Pat. How's it going, Pat?
What's going on?
All
Hey,
right. We're going to talk about the things we loved in 2020, the dumpster fire that is. Andre, you're first up. Talk to us about the property, the thing that you loved most about 2020. We're going to have everyone jump in throughout the podcast talking about their loves, but you got 5 minutes to talk about what you loved.
All right.
Go.
So 2020 was a very, very tough year, but lots of properties and stuff came out that people enjoyed. The thing I enjoyed most was Cyberpunk 2077. This game got a lot of flack and stuff, but I finished the game just on a couple days ago. Amazing, amazing, amazing game. And I would say if you are interested in it, don't go by the reviews and the hype. Do some research. Yes, if you've got an old gen system, you might not want to play it. I played it on the Xbox Series X. Phenomenal game. It's literally the only thing I've been posting up on Facebook and Instagram lately. But I will say one of the cool things about the game for me is the amount of merch that we had at the store. We got the official Cyberpunk t-shirts. We had Cyberpunk jackets. I got the World of Cyberpunk, which is essential reading. Look, if you like this setting, you need to pick up this book because it gives you the whole kind of history of where the world is at and what takes place in Night City. So it's definitely worth doing. And earlier on, like I think back in March, John, I think we got the McFarlane figures.
Yeah, we get the action figures,
the action figures,
the RPG book, like lots
the
of great
RPG,
stuff.
which is very, very cool. So lots of great merch related to this game. Listen, this property is solid. For me, it's a combination between Shadowrun and Blade Runner. I think CD Projekt Red did a really awesome job. And listen, I think they are, I don't know, it's like almost like a smear campaign, because I remember playing Skyrim when it first came out, and that game was buggy and glitchy as hell. Look at stuff like No Man's Sky, Fallout 76. This game is ambitious, okay? But you know, once it gets patched up, or if you're going to get a new console later on, definitely you want to play it.
It's
But
patched. I'm playing it on Xbox One, and it's fine.
yeah, and it's a phenomenal game. Listen, this story is super cool. I did all the quests, over 100+ hours into this game, and once I finished it, I instantly started a new character. There's still more for me to do and see. So yeah, Cyberpunk 2077, amazing. I think you should definitely check it out. Who is it not for? It's not for Rob Cadet, because it's a true RPG. Listen, this game has got so much character depth and character building. While there's lots of running and gunning and shooting, you don't have to play that game. The dialogue and the stories and the characters are great. So if you want that story-driven RPG where you get to really build this character, it's there. But I'm little petite spoiler, okay? Just keep in mind, once you hit the main narrative, to really enjoy that other part of the story, because it's no longer just your character's story. So Cyberpunk, I think you guys should check it out. Great game.
Yeah, thank you for that very nice synopsis of the universe and whatnot. So yeah, if you really enjoy the Cyberpunk universe, clearly John and Andre have a lot of that there.
Or the genre. If you've been like a Cyberpunk like fan, like this is the game that you've been waiting for, and the merchandise that has come out associated with it, like the RPG game and comics and art books and everything, like, is amazing.
And
All right.
also, too, there's a ton of other merch that we don't carry. I might be looking to get myself a Johnny Silverhand jacket, with the, thing. Yeah.
Of course, it'll match the Mass Effect jacket you have. All right.
Of course.
All right, Tim, thank you for joining us. You
Tim.
got
Hey,
5
guys.
minutes of unedited time to gush about what you loved for 2020. So thank you for joining us. What do you got for us? What did you love in 2020?
My God, he's gonna say his wife.
I have one thing.
Yes, we all love our
Pick
wives.
one thing.
and
Tim's got a
girlfriends.
bunch
Yes.
of alternates, which were
Yes.
really like off the beaten path, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Give
You
us your
want-
best shot.
I'm going for one thing or multiple.
One thing.
Is it the
man.
Transformers show?
You already told us what it is.
How dare you?
So we know what it is. But yeah, go for
Never.
it.
Okay, so I will say my close first places were, and I went for
No,
things that were.
What your one thing?
Okay,
We're
fine.
gonna-
I went. Okay, to be fair, I just wanted to say those because I know you guys are gonna make fun of me.
We're
for
gonna
this,
talk
but
about them later. But
I went
one thing.
off
We're
the
losing
beat.
the time.
Off the beaten track, not the things that I thought everyone would pick, but I'm going for She-Ra and the Princesses of Power on Netflix.
Get out.
I thought, no, see, that's the kind of
No, let him
attitude
go, let
that
him
we
go.
don't need.
So why? Tell
No,
me. That's,
okay,
that's
so-
your show. Tell us why.
So She-Ra and the Princess of Power came out in 2018. It was the follow-up from DreamWorks Animation television off of their Voltron Legendary Defenders, which everybody loved that show except for the final multiple seasons, right? But we all knew that show was amazing. They did a great job of rebooting a franchise from the 80s. Great animation, great voice acting, great characters, right? Great story. She-Ra, I know how many people here have watched it, probably zero, but it is a good show, man. You got to give that a chance. DreamWorks Animation did a great job with that. They did 5 seasons. The final season came out in 2020, dropped. It's a total of 52 episodes or so in total. It is solid story writing. The arc goes from season 1 to the end of season 5. It's a solid, good story, good character development, funny. The action is good. If you follow me on Instagram, right, I was posting some of the action scenes and whatever. Really good, man. Good story, good characters. It's not like the She-Ra of the past. Yes, John putting up
Tim,
that awesome poster.
Before you carry on, can you give us, for those who do have no idea who She-Ra is, can you tell us what She-Ra is?
So she's so it starts out, she's a character in this evil horde invasion army that's coming to the different planets, taking over planets. You later find out that the horde has multiple Hordaks around, and there is a Hordak Prime who's essentially sending out these clones and these armies to come over and take over planets. He gets to this one planet, which is where one of their soldiers turns on them, goes to the rebel side, ends up gaining the power to become She-Ra, this mystical character, right? That's got this futuristic sword that changes her. She has all these other princesses on the planet that have these unique powers. They form this rebel alliance. Through the course of the story, some of the princesses turn evil, some turn good. They revert back and forth. The relationships develop. The one male character, Bo, who, if you remember the 80s, had that big porn stash, right? This one's a lot different character, but voiced by Marcus Scribner of Blackish. Amazing job this kid does, man. I don't know how he does the voice like that, but and it's just about the Rebel Alliance taking on this army and just the development of the characters and the war that takes place. But there's death, there's betrayal, whatever. So it's pretty more serious than what you would think.
So you talked about the show finishing up this season in 2020. What was about the season wrapping up? Because you talked about how Voltron, it kind of missed the mark on the landing, like many shows do. So what about this landing that made you love it so much?
So this one had the build up throughout the 5 seasons. You had, and I researched into this and I realized that in the 80s cartoon, they eventually expanded upon Hordak's character in the comics. But so you had Hordak as the main, or comes in as the main villain at the end of, I think, maybe season 2. Then it transitions into where there's Hordak Prime. So the bosses keep getting more and more evil, more and more powerful.
Dragon Ball Z style. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So they keep getting more powerful, more advanced, right? Whereas Voltron kind of didn't have that. So this one, and then it ends in season 5 with that final confrontation with Hordak Prime, with all the characters, kind of banding together, the transition of some of the characters switching sides and whatever. But it got you to that climax and then ended on that strong climax. It wasn't cheesy. It didn't bring characters back to life and stuff like that. Like the deaths were final, which was good. So yeah, good story. And if you haven't seen it, man, again, it's light. You can watch it with anyone, watch it with your kids, whatever. But good show.
Perfect.
And I'd say that was my stand-up.
Thank you so much. That was perfect. And that was perfectly on time. So I appreciate that too. Pat,
It's a
it
pro.
is now your turn. You got your 5 minutes to gush about your show, the
About
thing you love.
Transformers, War of Cybertron, Earthrise. No. My pick of the Rob. What are you doing?
Get out!
You okay? No.
I'm having a small stroke here. I'm like, oh my god.
Rob fell asleep.
No. My pick of the year for favorite, I guess, thing that's involved this year is probably still my favorite comic book coming out of the Dawn of X is Marauders, written by Gary Duggan, and the book about Katie Pryde, or Kate Pryde, I guess, and her team of mutant pirates. I always grew up as a fan of Kitty Pryde, and I always thought she was kind of like, she was kind of cool. She was always kind of like a late teenager, but over the past couple of years, she's really matured as a character. And right now, for some reason, we still don't know why. Her entire story is that as a mutant, she can't use the Krakoan gates, and we still don't know why she can't use the gates. But because she can't use the gates, Emma Frost let her run the boat that she named the Marauder, and she goes around the world picking up mutants that can't access the Krakoan gates because they live in countries where like, where their mutants aren't as easily accessed and doesn't have the same freedoms that some of us do. So short and sweet. That's I believe they're about to hit the second trade. The first trade came out earlier this year, so everybody should check it out if you're interested in X-Men. It's my favorite of the X-Men Dawn of X books, and everybody should give it a check out. Should check it out.
So Pat, can you tell us what is Kitty Pryde's power? Because you said she's a mutant and she can't use the gates.
She is a
for those who
mutant.
don't, the uninitiated, what does she do?
Right. So Kitty Pryde's abilities is that she can kind of phase. She has the ability to control her own
Molecules.
density, I guess, and she could just kind of phase through things. When she phases through things, she also, if she phases through electronics, she also kind of short circuits them. That's her main power. She also has a pet dragon. For some reason, she has a pet dragon, right? Which is kind of cool.
Wow.
And pardon?
Named?
Lockheed, the baby dragon, who's been a baby since the 80s, like a little
Not Grogu.
like Grogu, yeah.
Like the child. But yeah, like
The dragon.
Yeah.
So,
and for some reason, I don't want to spoil anything, but for some reason, she couldn't access the gates. They haven't really revealed why she can't access the gates.
have they revealed it,
No, not yet.
Still haven't.
But
Okay.
they're not yet. They haven't revealed why she can't use the gates, but there was a little bit in the beginning about why she couldn't, like why there was concerns that she couldn't be resurrected because she couldn't use the gates. But again, I don't want to spoil anything. They revealed that a couple of months ago.
So most of us know Kitty Pryde via her flawed and terrible relationship with Colossus. She was at one point Star-Lord, is that correct? Guardians of the Galaxy?
At one point, Kitty Pryde was dating Star-Lord when Brian Michael Bendis wrote Guardians of the Galaxy. But she's back on Earth, and then she was the headmistress of the school right before Dawn of X and Powers of X started. But as of right now, she's a pirate, so that's pretty dope.
She's had a lot of job changes. So is this the best kind of usage of her compared to the other when she was
honestly
Guardians,
I didn't
or when she was
expect it? I really liked this version of her. I didn't like her as a Guardian of the Galaxy. I never understood why she was ever in space. She doesn't have a power set that's appropriate for fighting in space. But then neither does Star-Lord, I guess.
Unless she goes on Cybertron, because then she could phase through
and then just knock everything out
and kill all robots.
and then starts up a textiles business.
Textile.
Wow, unbelievable. So yeah, that's
my favorite thing coming out of 2020. Second being everything Transformers related.
Get out of here.
Okay. Well, that was super helpful. I was also on time, so I appreciate both of you for joining us today. And our other two guests are not here on time. So, but nonetheless, I will bid you to adieu. I hope you have a wonderful Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for
Happy New
joining
Year,
us.
guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank
Hey,
you.
guys, have a good one.
Wait, before you go, where can we find you, Tim?
XX_TimboSlice_XX Instagram.
Yes, follow
That's
him
it.
there. So thank you.
Find all the She-Ra posts, you'll know it's him.
Pots
Yeah,
and pats
man.
not there. So, anyways, Tim, pleasure as
you
always.
guys.
We hope to see
Have a
you
good
again,
one.
Pat. Thank you.
See you guys,
See you guys later. Peace out.
Ultra Magnus says bye.
Oh, the head Ultra Magnus. So.
If he
There we go.
if he put a piece of cloth over, I wouldn't have known it was Ultra Magnus. So who is that?
It should have been sheet metal. Should have been sheet metal.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, it's Umar.
Thank you for joining us, Umar. You have 5 minutes uninterrupted to talk about your favorite thing of 2020. Go time.
Okay.
Go.
Well-
We know what it is, but go time. It's all you.
Okay, well, for me, I would say the greatest thing I watched this year,
Yeah.
was The Boys season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I found that to be, well, it was a necessary distraction, but at the same time, it connected to all the horrible things that are also happening in the world of the world. It was subversive. It was mature, like not so much dark. It had dark comedy, but it was mature and interesting, and it also had a very good reflection of what is happening in the world in general, while at the same time just throwing in a superhero spin on it, which I tend to really love. It has a terrifying villain, not for his powers, but just because he is terrifying. And I also think that I really enjoyed the false representation that they showed of how that's kind of being done nowadays. And especially when it comes to feminism, I love their girls get it done moment, which is meant to kind of joke about the fact of Infinity War and also Endgame's version of that, but at the same time doing it better. So for me, I still love the characters and even the villains. Like, I would say that even though Homelander terrifies me, he also is one of the main draws for the show for me.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like me loving the Joker, not to that level, because frankly, like, I've been loving the Joker for
Which Joker?
just Joker in
Jared
general.
Leto. Jared Leto.
No,
Jared Leto? Are you a Jared Leto?
Jared Leto never played the Joker. What are you guys talking about?
Whoa! Snyder cut. Don't worry.
Yeah, Homelander's a great character so long as you're not walking underneath him late at night.
Especially when you're like near buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would also say that like the other characters as well were all really well fleshed out. It's nice to have character development, not just stop after the first season and then kind of going in completely different directions. It's kind of like it's a growth, and the storyline followed a believable direction as well. Granted, I would say season 2, like, one of the main flaws I had with it was that it was a slightly slower than the first season, and it also, like, the main characters are essentially the world's most wanted, and yet no one could find them in the basement. But, like, I was like, I can let that go. I can let that go.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah. Well,
But
so to your point, so you found season 2 better or worse than season 1?
I would say that I found the ending and characterization better. I would say the story, it kind of dipped more than season 1 did. Season 1, I think I was like following it from beginning to end. But at the same time, season 2 had the problem of me having to wait week by week after the first 3 episodes.
Three.
So that like, I don't know if that's a pacing problem or if that was just a release of like an unexpected view of us watching it. So like, I can't really tell on that one. So I would say more like the story kind of dipped, but I don't know if that's a problem with the storytelling or if it was the release. So I would say
I waited for them all to I waited for them all to drop before watching them all.
I should have done that.
And I found it to be a lot like I hear what you're saying, but I actually found it to be a lot more faster paced instead of watching it week to week.
So who's your favorite character in season 2? Like, who had the best growth? Who was the best character in season 2?
Love sausage. You guys keep beating around the bush. All right.
Shut up, Rob.
For me, I would say that Homelander and Starlight and Queen Maeve. I would say those were the 3 that I actually was very much involved with.
And even though the show was dark and all the things, it was the most uplifting thing to you in 2020.
Yeah, because I've been disappointed so much in 2020. It's 2020 has hurt me a lot on like
the bar
so many levels. So like, this was like a shining beacon for me.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you giving us your insight. Jimmy,
hey.
Here is your time, your 5 minutes of really, of uninterrupted gushing of the
Uninterrupted?
show. Well, I'll ask you a question if you want, but yeah, go.
I feel like I'm gonna get attacked here. It's all good.
No, this is all
You're in a safe space. You're a safe space.
The internet.
The clock is running. The clock is
All right,
running.
no worries. I think John and Umar already know my choice, and it's actually The Mandalorian. Everyone, oh John, please don't hurt me. No, I actually really did enjoy The Mandalorian. Sorry, guys. It was a lot of fun for me. Even when you're like, it makes you feel like you're an 8-year-old again, basically. Just my jaw was on the floor during the Carl Weathers directed episode with like the speeder bikes. Holy shnikes, man. I was all like, wow. And then there was also like, Umar was speaking about girls get it done scenes. Literally, during that scene where they were taking over the command
Off
room.
Gideon.
Yeah, exactly. It was only halfway through. I was like, wait a minute. They're all women or whatever. I literally didn't even see them. I just saw them as literally doing a really cool scene. And then all of a sudden you're like, this is how the way it should be done, where you put the characters first. And it's not like when like Captain Marvel, where they're all like, you know, I'm doing this as a woman or whatever first, you know, it's not like laid on thick for you, basically. It's just, it's equivalent of like Ripley in Aliens, who is all like, oh my God, you guys, we have to go in and save them. We have to go and save them. And they're like, oh, we're too scared. They're like, get out of my way. And she just does it herself. That's amazing. When you actually just make your character strong and impressive, and then you just happen to be a woman. That's amazing. I also really enjoyed the Mayfield scene for Operation Cinder. During that scene, that was like a better storyline for a ex-stormtrooper than Finn got for the entire sequels. And that was all in just like one episode. And you're all like, holy snikes, I feel for this guy. And then, bam, now they're just going to start killing everybody. So that was pretty nuts too. No, I had a lot of fun with it. I know there's a lot of fan service, absolutely. With that said, it felt like the equivalent of going to like Disney World and walking around, you know, and seeing all these stormtroopers and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be any deeper than just like making you feel like a kid again. And something as simple and entertaining as that is good for me.
Jimmy, how did you feel when you saw Luke Skywalker, that whole sequence? Like,
here's
what
the
was it
thing.
to you?
So here's the thing. For me, the CGI is bad, you guys. The CGI is so bad.
What
the CGI is so bad.
But
And it's really frustrating when, and it leaves you flabbergasted when you think about that Disney, you own both Marvel and also Star Wars. I've seen Samuel Jackson in all of Captain Marvel, and you're like, whoa, obviously Disney owns like a freaking time machine. They can go back in time and pick up like young Michelle Pfeiffer if they want. They can go back in time, pick up young Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
And it all looks like sorcery is the thing. And then you look over at, say, Leia and Rogue One, you're like, that's PS4 graphics. And then you look over at Luke Skywalker, and you're like, that's PS5 graphics. Or whatever. But there's still that really huge uncanny valley that really throws you off, and it definitely takes you out of the moment. But with that said, I watched reaction videos, and there's this lady in her maybe early 50s, and you could tell that she didn't know that like Luke Skywalker had a green lightsaber. She's like, he doesn't have a green lightsaber. And you're like, okay, all right. Or she'll say that like Luke Skywalker's dead, but she doesn't know that Mandalorian takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi or whatever, right? With that said, she enjoyed that sequence so much. And it's not about how much you know about Star Wars. It's about how it makes you feel as the thing. And she was bawling her eyes out the entire time. And she says she was telling her kid was secretly filming her, and she was telling him like, you know, how when she was a kid, Luke Skywalker was her biggest crush or something like that.
Yeah.
Is he still?
Who doesn't like Mark Hamill?
Mark Hamill. That meant
Okay.
Good guy, Mark Hamill.
All right. Jimmy, Umar, your time is running down. Where can they find you online? Umar, go first. Where can we find you online?
I do a podcast called the Geeky Bros Podcast, so you can find us on YouTube, and you can also find me on Instagram as the Big Geek Umar.
Jimmy?
You can find me on Facebook and Creep Me. My name's Jimmy Chung, Jimmy space CHEUNG.
That's how we
I got
became
lots of
friends.
photos of my kids and videos. He's adorable. He's here with me right now, everyone.
Well, I was gonna say Mazel Tov. Yeah, he's sleeping.
He's totally sleeping.
He's totally sleeping.
Yeah.
Chilling,
Yep.
just chilling like a villain. That's it.
Yep.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for we'll bring
Thanks,
you guys
guys.
back on again in the future. Have a good one. Jimmy,
You too.
Mazel Tov as always. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
guys in a bit. Thank you. See you guys.
Boxing guys.
See you later.
Bye.
All right, here we go. As the turnstiles go on, as we continue on, we have both Fraser and Lewis here. So
Lewis with a fresh
hey.
haircut.
Hey.
Fresh haircut for Lewis.
All right, well, Fraser, I don't see him yet. So Lewis,
Let me.
There you go.
Is that
that's
better?
fine. Lewis, you're
Yeah.
up. 5 minutes, uninterrupted. Mainly. Tell us what you love.
The Expanse season 5, it's still ongoing. 5 episodes so far. I like the change. I think it's all based on the books, but the writers that were also the authors of the books adapted it for the series, so they made a few changes overall. It has been overall a good series over the years. I'm glad it was picked up by Amazon. Go
Tell
ahead.
us, there are shout out to my buddy RJ who loved The Expanse like you. Truthers, just like there were back in the day with Babylon 5, like real guys who are deep hardcore. Tell us what the hell is The Expanse? Because there's a bunch of us who have no idea. I know.
Okay,
What is The Expanse?
Yeah. So there's Earth, there's Mars, and there's the Belt. There's basically, we've gone into space. We have our interplanetary travel. There's businesses that go beyond. There's piracy. There's crime. There's everyday life, but now beyond just Earth, right? So there's the, I think the author mentioned in a after show thing I just watched recently that you guys watched Alien, like the original Alien.
Yep.
And how the guys are just earning a buck in space. That's pretty much what it is, right? And then there's that little alien problem that keeps arising. But
wait, are there aliens in The Expanse, Lewis? Are you
Small
telling us
problem.
they're aliens? No. Okay.
no, it's something else. But it's a good series. I like Varela. I like the crew. I like just like the politics of it, the military aspect of it, the everyday life of it, the problems, the interactions, the character development. Kara G as drummer, like just everything about it is it's just a really good. There's a grounded approach to the series, and I really like that.
So it for those who are uninitiated to The Expanse, it did switch from sci-fi to Amazon. So can you kind of give us a little insight as to what changed drastically when it switched studios?
I can't really tell. Maybe a little more swearing, as usual.
Yeah.
Budget? Did you lose?
No,
Did they lose any
budget.
cast or
No. The core cast went along. They had to change studios because I think Discovery had to take over that space, so they had to switch studios. But it's still in the Toronto area. They still film in this area. So otherwise, I think the CG was pretty good. The CG for season 4 was really good. Maybe they increased the budget. I don't know, but it didn't feel inconsistent when they switched where they were streaming.
Did it look
So
better?
That was a good thing. Yeah, I thought it looked all right. I didn't see an inconsistency.
And
Like it seemed fluid, like it wasn't interrupted. That kind of thing.
and the rumors of it finishing soon. So is this like, what is the details in terms of this season? Is there, one after? or is this
Okay,
the end?
season 5 is the second last season. Season 6 is the last season. There was a little controversy with one of the actors, so he's not coming back for season 6. But the rest of the cast are. The core team is what continues. The setting always changes per season.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing about the series is that each season is a different problem, different setting. And I hope I'm not going too over right now.
No, I'll tell you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry. In terms of the book, then, is it caught up to the books? How many books are there for The Expanse?
I haven't followed the books. I haven't read the books. That's something I might get into. Because I know the authors are involved in the project and they're writing the scripts too. So it's a little nice that they're doing that. So they have deviated from their books, from what I've been told.
Yeah.
What they have said. So it's interesting. Like Asvarala's character, or that's the character's name.
Yeah.
Was actually from book 2, I think, but they pushed her in the book in the first season because they like changing a few things. So it's a good series. I
Okay.
actually quite like it. Yeah.
No, perfect. Fraser, you are up, buddy. Let's thank you for joining us. What is your favorite thing of 2020? What did you like the most?
This was a hard pick, especially within the genre of sci-fi fantasy.
And
very slim pickings.
Yeah.
So I ended up going with Picard. I really enjoyed that for 2020. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I prefer Picard more than, say, Discovery or that dreadful thing called Lower Decks.
Whoa.
That's Rob's pick. Come on.
Shots fired. Yeah.
Anyway, I really enjoyed it mainly for the nostalgia feels. It's like you got Patrick Stewart back as Captain Picard, going on this new mission. You had the reintroduction of characters such as Jerry Ryan's 7 of 9, which also kind of dived a little bit into other characters from the Voyager show with Echab. Yes, one moment. The joys of toddlers. Where was I? With Jerry Ryan's character, the aspect of the board, the whole Romulan, what was it called? Not the Tel Shiar, but there was that other subsect where they're like super anti-tech and just wanting to kill anything that has to do with artificial intelligence and the link with Data, and finding out that he technically didn't die, but he did die, and the whole aspect of there's now a whole race of androids on this planet. And that was basically it. Like it's like seeing all the stuff for Trek move forward instead of looking backwards, like what they're doing with the current season. Well, I guess Discovery's kind of fixed that now. But that's where I was.
Yeah, man. Picard, the first episode, I would say, was probably one of the highlights of TV for me. That first episode was just amazing. So
what was it about the show specifically that drew you in? Because again, there was lots of options for science fiction, but like what was it? Was it just nostalgia that you loved the most, or what was, tell us, what was it, Fraser?
Pretty much the nostalgia aspect. Like I'm a big fan of TNG. I like, my main series is Deep Space Nine, but it even had Easter eggs for that in it as well. Like the whole quartz bar on the new planet. So you're not in Deep Space Nine, but you have a connection to it. Like they really tried to tie in threads from Trek past. And it really was the nostalgia aspect of it. It's like, what's Picard doing? What's Riker doing? Where are all these characters? I'm really looking forward to season 2. Supposedly they're going to bring back Guinan, Whoopi Goldberg's character, which I think is awesome because her character arc throughout TNG was very interesting. How like she's this race that has like she's centuries old, like,
eons,
eons. Like who knows? Like you can do so much with her, which is great. So I love the fact that they kind of tease that Guinan's potentially coming back. I don't know if it's a guarantee, but they did.
Picard went Patrick Stewart went on the show and asked her to come back. So
they went on the show. It's going to be hard for them to be like, no.
That was an amazing moment.
Like, to your point, I think, Fraser, I'm a big Star Trek fan like you too. That the interrelationship, the chemistry that Whoopi Goldberg had with Patrick Stewart when they were just talking in 10 forward.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that they give that time to really appreciate the two actors. They don't have to move around, just sit in a bar somewhere and have a conversation. That would be super fun. I get the new crew of what needed to be happening in Picard, but I hope that they bring back some of the older characters, just and use them correctly.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing like Geordi. Worf would be okay, but Worf would be okay, but I think they've kind of tied Worf into other stuff already. Like the fact that he was tied into the second half of Deep Space Nine. Yeah. And same with like Chief O'Brien. He got a whole new series. Like the characters that I would say were generally TNG, I wouldn't mind seeing more of. Like,
so what you're saying is you want more Nurse Ogawa. You want more.
Maybe not.
You want
Nurse
deep cuts.
Ogawa,
You want where is Mott the barber? I need to know where he is. Is he still cutting hair? Is this a thing
Well,
that
didn't
matters?
Didn't he have a sign on the planet that they went down to with like I know they show Quartz, but I'm pretty sure they had a bop thing there.
I don't. Where's Mott the barber? These are things that matter. Yeah. Thank you. Where can the people find you both, Lewis, online? Where can we find you?
I'm on Twitter at Lewis Law. I'm on Instagram at LouDZN or Loud Asian. Yeah, I like doing that. It's funny.
Where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Instagram's at Fraser Linney and Facebook Fraser Linney. So that's it.
Perfect. So thank you guys for joining us. We'll bring you on back in the future. Thank you. Have a wonderful 2021.
That
Yes,
poster
guys.
behind Lewis, so fire.
Yeah, it's the only good thing Transformers thing that we saw on the last day. So
Yeah.
see you guys later.
Happy New
Bye.
Year.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh boy. So there we go there. Yeah, that was the best Transformers thing I've seen in a fortnight, as one would say. Here it is.
Hey,
Hello,
look at Scott,
hello,
my man
hello.
Scott.
Hey.
What's
Howdy,
up?
howdy.
Always in the house.
All right, ladies.
Happy New
first,
Year.
Bumblebee.
Ladies first, Joey. 5 minutes uninterrupted. Tell us what you loved in 2020. Give us your jam. Phrase Scott, you're next after.
I have to speak like Blur then. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. No, I'm just joking. I'm not going to do this. First of all, hi, everybody. I missed everyone. But my pick, this 34-year-old lady is going to pick a kid's cartoon, obviously. That's how we do things. So,
Tim picked She-Ra, so don't worry about it.
whatever, teach their own. So I snubbed this cartoon for so long because I just didn't feel like it was the right one for me. And now that I'm totally hooked, guess what I bought right over here? So I'm gonna say it. It's Transformers Cyberverse.
Out.
It's good. It's so good compared,
Cyberpunk
especially
Siege,
to Earthrise.
right? You're saying Siege.
I'm not saying Siege. I'm saying Cyberverse. I'm
The
saying
song.
version of the thing that we're typically bashing on Netflix with Transformers. But let me tell you why. Because the first season is not your typical like Megatron is all up on Optimus Prime's face and they're trying to duel it out. It's not like that. It's basically Windblade and Bumblebee all throughout the whole season 1 just trying to figure out why homie Bumblebee here has lost his memory, no memory files, all that kind of stuff. But also, you know what gets Joey? What gets Joey is there's toys involved. Okay? I'm saying this like super quick. I don't know if I'm like 4 minutes already.
No. You're
You still got time.
Don't worry. You got time. I'll cut you off. Don't worry.
Okay, good. Just play me out like a Grammys.
Yep.
The good thing about it is, so the toys are super kiddie, but what got me was that there's a bath. So there is a build-a-figure. And
It's like 8 pieces though, isn't it?
It's 8 pieces because he's a bit of a thick boy Autobot. His name is McAdam, and he kind of runs like the black market area of Cyberverse. But guys, check it out. Like it's so good. Like it's honestly better than Siege. It's better. I haven't watched Earthrise yet, but
Don't.
Oh boy. Yeah, we just finished that review, Joey. Take your time. Don't rush. Don't drop anything to watch the Earth Electric Boogaloo. So yeah. But keep on going.
They're non-committal episodes because they're like 10, 11 minutes long.
Mm.
It's literally one of those things where like I have a little bit of time for lunch to catch up on stuff. And it's just really good, guys. It's the Transformers kiddie thing. Like if I had a kid, that's the thing that I would get them into. But it's only me and Grogu right now, so.
Who is your favorite character on the said show? Is it Bumblebee?
Bumblebee is the star of the show.
Yep, of course.
However, Windblade kicks ass all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, my favorite in figure and as well in character is Grimlock. I know, a Dinobot.
Oh yeah, he's like dumb. He's like dumb in dinosaur mode and then smart in robot mode.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the Hulk at one point in time. It's very much like that. So
that's cool. Like, who would have thought Grimlock would be the coolest toy? But yes, 100% coolest toy.
very well made. Very well made, and it's great for kids that like they're learning just to transform stuff right now. And if they have like a cool mom with them that could do it, then it's like, yeah, these things fold in and it's great.
Or an auntie, yes.
So you're
Auntie
saying,
Joey.
yeah, an auntie. So you're saying the toys are the coolest part, more than to the show.
No, man, the show's really good because the show got me into actually collecting the toys.
Oh boy. And how deep are you in? How deep are you in? How many toys do you own from this series?
Hold on a second. If my mom and dad are watching, okay. I'm not buying all the toys. I'm just buying the Bath figures because I just want to complete McAdams.
How many of that is there?
So you could have McLovin? Is that what you just said? Is that...
How many is that, Joey? How many Transformers is that in the badge?
8.
Oh, just 8. Okay,
8.
got it. And how many are in the line total?
Like 6,000. It's tons. And you know what, though? The thing about this is that they have different scales for, like, there's $14 figures, $20 figures, $30 figures. I'm not going to go and buy, like, $30 ones that are clearly for tinier children.
Yep.
So I'm just going to do the Bath figures because that's really cool. And I don't think that John and Andre let me know, but I don't think there was ever Bath for any Transformer toys ever. It's probably the first one.
Not that we can think of that.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
But yeah,
all right. All right, Scott. Joey, that was perfect. Scott, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. So
look at him at work. He's taking
all
the time from
You
work.
got 5 minutes in the world. Tell us what made your 2020
of
the badness that it was 2020.
Mine is much less kid friendly, but it was second season of Umbrella Academy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can sum it up in 5 words.
Take your time. Sum it up in more than 5 words.
Swedes in a milk truck. Right? I mean, no, I think the thing that resonated with me the most was like, I think and I don't want to do too many spoilers, but like
it's way at the end.
It is
like this is if you haven't watched it, I'm giving you carte
too
blanche.
late, right?
It's a year. It's been a year. Let's
but I loved how it started off with the sort of the Instagram photo of like the perfect life of how they could be if they were a good team, and then just showed you how broken all those people were, and kind of and slowly over that story built it up. I love, and I talked about this, I think the last time you guys had me on, we talked about Umbrella Academy. I love the broken characters, right? I love Klaus, but like all of them are kind of broken. And I love, what's his name? Aiden Gallagher, 17-year-old kid, kind of rocking that show over 2 seasons. He was, what was he? Ricky, I forget what he was on the Nickelodeon series.
Ricky, Dickie, Nicky, and Dawn.
And,
Rob knows, apparently.
Rob knows.
Well, I mean, Rob's kids and my kids are kind of the same age.
In the wheelhouse, yeah.
But just he really rocks that cast, and I think if you watch it just for him alone, and just how he navigates through certainly the second season, and meeting yourself. If I met myself in time travel, I know I would hate myself and probably try to kill myself. So I think that resonated with me.
I don't think so, Scott. You are a very, very successful person at this time and place. And the people
know,
that you've touched, they would arguably Andre and I would say incorrect. But yes, carry on.
I appreciate that. And then you tie all that into like the setting. They used 60s Dallas, and I don't know if the writers and the showrunners had a inkling of what 2020 was going to look like. With in the United States, we have a little bit of a dumpster fire down here. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
You do?
What? You guys have some of your own stuff up there. I get it. I read Rob's tweets. But just the foresight that they had, but it didn't feel like you were watching, like it didn't drag you into like 2020. It kind of it resonated in its like sort of 60s sort of style, which I appreciated, but it still touched on some of those important issues. And then I think the best thing about the series is just the music they sneak in there. It's very, it's very nostalgic, and it kind of brings you back. And I think when they announced the second season, the trailer had, I think it was Tiffany. So, I mean, that alone, right? If that doesn't draw you in, I don't know what does. So that's my pick. I loved it. I can't wait for the 3rd season. And yeah.
What are your predictions for the 3rd season?
It's interesting because I think what they're going to try to do is the only person that got, the one person that got screwed in the first 2 seasons, is coming back as it looks like the leader. right? And so it's like he almost got salvaged, right? Because like everybody else turned into like.
To be fair, he had a great swan song in season 2. Like Ben's arc was fantastic. So like if the payoff was season 1, you're not that important, and you kind of were, to season 2 where he's just carrying heavy lifting of emotion and caring about this family that frankly none of them have empathy whatsoever to each other, or they don't really show it. But Ben was there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of interested to see him just be the dick.
I was gonna say, I kind of want to see that fleshed out a little bit, because like he's like the one sort of unbroken one, because he's already toast. So like to see him kind of break and be kind of a jerk, I think will be really exciting. So.
And do you think it's going to deviate a lot from the comics, I guess? Or
You know, I'll be honest with you. Like, I haven't delved into the lore as much as I probably should have. So it's kind of going to be a big surprise for me. So I'm kind of curious.
Don't worry, it's already so different as is. I think Andre has mentioned it before. The
it's
comics,
it's way off. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Andre mentioned before that the characters don't fit the way he feels. It's not a bad thing. It just they could be more cool comic booky looking, but I think that would take away from the show as it is right now. I think the direction that the art and it makes sense for what it is. But I would love the gorilla guy to actually look like the gorilla, to Andre's point before. It would look much cooler, but it's different.
I think at this point, you just enjoy the TV show for what it is. Once it finishes, then go and read the comics. So you don't have any expectations, or you're waiting for things to happen, or some things might be foreshadowed that they haven't done from the comics, and then you'd be like waiting for them to maybe happen. So I think you're on the right path. Just finish this up. When they announce, oh, we're not doing any more on Umbrella Academy, get a nice collection of it and read it.
Then I'll just head up to you guys and clean you out, right?
Yes.
Road trip.
Yeah.
Road trip.
Okay, so where can we find you more, Joey, on the interwebs as we wrap this up? Where can we find you?
Well, I'm like officially the spokesperson for all Cyberverse things, so.
Of course. Like your second command to lead a one. That's what's happening right now.
Oh, that felt good. Nothing much has changed, guys. I know I've taken a little bit of a break. I'm in the world of logistics, and during this time, it's been really, really, really crazy for me, and life has changed. So you can still follow me in the same things. Check me out over at the Captain Canary over at Instagram, and you can also follow my toy photography stuff that, yes, I will update very, very soon, because obviously I have more toys to post there. Anyone who's looking, I need help, guys, because I don't have Hot Rod yet. So if anybody finds Hot Rod on the bath, shoot me a message at the Captain Canary and let me know. And of course, Heroes Manufactured. It's on Amazon Prime, guys. Give it a watch and follow my boys over at Heroes World in the Sidekick Show. I miss you guys so much, actually.
I miss you too, Joey.
Scott?
You know, I live on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I don't have anything fancy that I post. You'll see me lurking and following these guys more than anything else on the podcasts and the YouTube. So
we see you all the time.
To have people follow me.
Yeah, we see you all the time on the Sidekicks messaging tweets. So message
yeah,
live. If you want to
talk to, he's gonna get in on the 80s.
That's my go-to on Monday nights, man. And
if you want to hear Scott and his thoughts, you can just text him on below on the thread.
When the Sidekick Show does one on aliens, me and Scott are coming on.
Yep.
That's our jam, man.
And just in case anybody was worried, I'm 2 weeks into my first COVID vaccine. No superpowers. I'm a little disappointed.
Well, wait till that second vaccine drops.
I
I'm
don't
waiting.
know.
I got it on next weekend, so I'll let you guys know if I get any.
Look at that, he's rocking the guns already. He's like, I have no superpowers. And he's like dropping the 24-inch pythons here.
Like, which way's Markham, guys?
Here's the thing, Scott. I think you have to pick the vaccine that was made by AIM. I think Moderna and Pfizer is not the company. You want to look for AIM. They're a small offshoot. They kind of do little things. I don't want to give away too much of their
or the one shipped from Genosha.
Well,
don't get the one that was made by Acme. The only thing that'll help you is survive a falling anvil. That's it.
And then let's not forget the one that Mr. Sinister he also has his company as well. So we'll just leave it as that. I'll let you guys draw the lines, the red line. So thank you both for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having.
we'll hopefully have you both soon. Have a wonderful new year. Great to see you. Be well, and thanks, man.
Yeah,
See you.
Happy New
Thanks,
Year.
guys.
Scott.
See
Bye,
ya.
Joey.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right. As we're slowly wrapping down, John, you got your 5 minutes starting now. Go for the glory.
I
What do you
don't
got?
even know if I need 5 minutes. Like the problem is, well, of course we wanted to not double up on everyone's choices. But there was like it stated earlier, slim pickings. So I saw 2 movies in theaters this year. One was Bad Boys for Life. You guys deemed Will Smith not a superhero,
Nope,
so I'm not
nope,
going to be able to
nope.
pick that one,
Nope.
even though I would love to pick that one.
Nope.
I'm going to pick my second movie that I saw in theaters, which was Birds of Prey: The Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, because in light of new information, a certain movie that came out at the end of this year that was heralded as like this golden child ender of all movies, I feel like didn't know its role. Whereas Harley Quinn, if you go back now, it's on Crave now, I believe. It had a modest budget, 80 million. It's got a lot of style that they squeezed in there, like just the theming of the movie, the shots. They put a lot of text, like kind of like in the background, and it looks like it's like graffiti on walls and stuff like that. So I feel like this movie like kind of is a little bit underappreciated, and now with the new formula that is what I think 2 WB movies to HBO Max or something like that is a new formula, or am I mixing it up with a different place?
4 movies a year.
22. 4 movies a year, and then 2 on
2 on
HBO.
digital.
Yeah, two to straight to streaming. So this had a very similar budget to a lot of the Netflix movies that we
streaming
watched.
movie.
To streaming movies. So
Well, to be fair, I think we talked about before both Project Power and I think the other
Old Guard.
The Old Guard had more money. I think they spent more money.
I think they had more
Harley
money.
Quinn.
So this movie looks better than both of those movies. Otherwise, I would have picked one of those other movies. So if this was maybe the expectation when it hit the theaters, and the fact that it was called Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn and stuff like that, like they actually even didn't, like, if you watch the movie, I know a lot of people passed on it, at the end you don't have a Birds of Prey team forming. Actually, a Birds of Prey team forms separate, and they go off in a different direction than Harley Quinn, and she kind of has her little clique that she's made. So I feel like this movie definitely got kind of underappreciated, and especially in light of what else came out and other things that were supposedly better. And
I don't understand why you're hiding the fact it's Wonder Woman.
The budget.
Just say Wonder Woman.
No, it may or may not be Wonder Woman. There's a lot of movies that came out at the end of 2020, Rob, and it could or could not be Wonder Woman because there's some crazy media stuff going on with that movie. I'm not going to touch it, but yeah, that would be.
There are a lot of bad movies in 2020, but Harley Quinn is bad. It's just, this is the best superhero movie we probably got this year, and that speaks volumes. So, because Marvel didn't release a damn thing, they're like, yeah, we're not doing anything. So
yeah, they took a pass, and this movie came out, and I think it was just. I think some people maybe had different expectations for it, but it was fine for me.
I think we can say before that Ewan McGregor was the best part of that entire movie. So let's just.
He was a cool villain, and it wasn't a villain that was gonna.
Yeah.
Not to speak of the other film that had like this really unclear goal. He was basically just wanted to be the top mobster of that town. That was it. Like it was like you have an $80 million budget, so you have an $80 million villain. You don't have a $200 million budget and a $600,000 million budget villain that you have to try and explain in 2 hours. This movie was only an hour and a half, right? So
to be fair, the Marvel movies.
John makes an interesting point. Sorry, Stu, is that you have both of those villains both played it up. They were both like way over the top hammy, and yet Ewan McGregor, that was perfect for that role and that portrayal of
it was
Black
like
Mask.
they actually knew their spot. Like they kind of like their scale of that type of movie, and especially if this becomes like if streaming movies from DC are like this, I think that's pretty good quality. For what you
and
get.
I think that we've talked before, like you look at Thor the Dark World, like Malekith was the worst. Like he was a big scale villain that also was like, what are you doing? Like he had no color, or he was just like speaking dark elvish for like a few times. He's like, get me like whatever, and then carried on. I'm like, this guy is garbage. Malekith is the worst. So yeah, no, I was glad even Pedro Pascal had a few moments to shine. So it was good. All right, Robbie.
Oh boy.
Here we go. You're gonna finish this off.
I have watched a lot in 2020.
Lower Decks.
A lot of things. Nope. I've watched a lot of things, a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, a lot because of this with this show. The one, and that's a lot of binging. I've watched a lot of shows and seasons of just binged right through them. But the one that has always stuck out and keeps coming back and that I actually want to spend the time and rewatch is Dark. And I've mentioned it on this show before. It's only 3 seasons. The final season came out in June of 2020, which, to be honest with you, I thought I saw it in March. Like it's been one hell of a year. It's I've had a difficult time trying to summarize it without giving anything away. So I apologize, I took this off of online. Somebody has summarized, I think it was Wikipedia, and just says, in the aftermath of a child's disappearance, Dark follows a group of townspeople as they pursue the truth. They follow connections between 4 families to unravel a sinister time travel conspiracy which spans several generations. The marketing for this show, if you go to their Instagram page, I've never seen an Instagram, like, whoever the marketing manager is phenomenal. They've linked all of it's like one big canvas. And it says the question is not who, but when. That, like, it is a time travel story wrapped with a mystery of murder. It's, what happens in the future informs the past. What happened in the past informs the future. This is a show that I've recommended a few times. I know Scott, who was just on here, he watched it.
Scott had it on his list. Yeah.
Yeah, he had quite enjoyed it. My only caveat is that season 3, it does take you for a bit of a loop. Those first few episodes, once you get past like the midway point of season 3, then it makes sense. You understand what they're doing in season 3. It's only 3 seasons, and I think in total the episode count is maybe 18 episodes. So it's definitely something for you to watch. In North America, it is automatically dubbed in English. I would recommend turning the dubbing off and watching it in its native German with the subtitles. You actually gain a better appreciation for the story and for the performances of the actors. Nothing about voice actors, unless we're talking about War for Cybertron. But the voice acting for Dark, it doesn't convey the message that the native German. So my pick of 2020, anything that I've watched, and I'm telling you, that includes 156 episodes of The West Wing over 2 months. Everything that I've watched, Dark is the one thing that sticks in my brain, and I would highly recommend it.
Awesome. And how many episodes are in the each season, Rob?
The first season I think is 8, 6, and 6. I think it was.
Or bang those up pretty.
Yeah, so that's what I said. It's like about 8. It's less than 20 episodes for the full
42
thing,
per episode ish, 42 minutes ish. So
yeah, about an hour, but they go by really quickly, right? So number of episodes, is 26 episodes. So so there you go. I apologies, but yeah, 26 overall over 3 seasons. It's really easy to get through.
Okay, so that's
and
great.
Just the last thing is there is no 4th season, so I don't want anybody thinking that this is a beginning, a middle, and an end, and that's it, and that's what makes it so easily palatable. So
awesome. So we're gonna wrap things up momentarily. John and Andre, where can people?
Stu, you didn't have anything.
Wait, Stu, what about you, bud?
What's your pick?
What's your pick of 2020?
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna say my thing, and my favorite property, I guess DC property of the year was basically Harley Quinn, the actual TV show. Like that was by far the funnest thing that happened. Like Kelly Coco, the girl, or Kaylee?
I don't know. Kaylee Coco,
Big Bang Theory, Penny.
I miss the original voice of Harley Quinn. For me, like that, when you say Dr. J, like there's a voice that remanates from Batman the Animated Series. But I really like the goofiness and really just them going have fun in a DC show. Like I like the characters. I liked Kite Man. I still like
Kite Man is hilarious.
Kite Man.
Hell yeah.
It's stupid. Like it's kind of like the same thing as Lower Decks. Like it's not full canonical DC, but I enjoyed that they really went into it. And still, like I think back at season 1 of the jokes with Lex Luthor and all the stuff that to join the League, Legion of Doom, and then like season 2 to think about what happened. So I do like that they bring some of the old voice actors for Batman and different characters back into the show, and it's just done in a way that it really embraces the goofiness of the DC characters. Like these guys are, like I think you mentioned too, John, that these guys are all street level, and DC apparently is always just gods. Like Superman's a god, Wonder Woman's a god, Batman is a god among men. Like Batman's the best, but he's pretty much a god because he can outthink and he has more money to do anything he wants. So you just kind of see people just interact and they're like, oh wow, this stuff is bat stuff crazy around us. Like we can't do this. This is not what we do. Right. So it's just, I like just the idea that these characters are kind of.
Do you choose season 1 over season 2? Because technically season 1 aired at the end of 2019 and wrapped in 2020. Season 2 you think is better than season 1?
Yeah, I think they just established a lot of stuff already, and they just went into it. Like they just fully just embraced it. Like they didn't hold back anymore. So yeah, I enjoyed the season. Like again, it's Harley Quinn kind of trying to live a world without, you know, Joker being her number one priority. And you know, it does a good job of that. Like I look at all the other shows as well. I want to see them build upon the other previous seasons. So unlike what happened in Transformers. So and the thing is, here's the thing. Like I watched it. It's not the best show, but compared to like, it goes by quickly. Like it goes by like a couple episodes go by. You're like, oh,
it's short, quick episodes, and like you said, Kaylee Cuoco really nails it. Even more so much so that when I did see Harley Quinn in theaters, I was like, I kind of wonder what it would have been like if she got to play this role, because her voice, like the animated series, I guess is top. That's original Harley Quinn. You're never going to be able to top that. And then Kaylee Cuoco comes and owns it, and I actually would probably put her ahead of Margot Robbie's voiceover of Harley Quinn, especially in this movie. Maybe if she kind of switches it up, like Suicide Squad, she had the weird accent and stuff like that. So if she comes back, who knows if that's going to happen? But I think that's great.
Yeah,
that's a
I
great
think
choice.
To that point, John, it's all about reps. And Kelly Coco's done 2 seasons of this to embody the character, and you just get to practice and do more stuff and really embody it. As you know, like Margot Robbie did it twice, 3 times, right? How many times she's been Harley Quinn?
She will have done it 3 times with the new
movie.
It'll be a
Suicide Squad
third
movie coming out. Yeah.
When we all watch it at home on HBO Max or download Suicide Squad 2. So that we'll look forward to that, whatever that may be. So in you know, this year. So anyway, so that was my pick out of the ones that haven't been picked before. But John, Andre, where can we find you guys on the interwebs?
Yeah, so happy New Year, folks. Thanks for following us all this time and things like that. You can find us on the social medias. Facebook is the most active, and Instagram, same tag, Heroes World Online, as well as the website. Everything gets posted up there, curbside hours, when we're reopening, all that kind of stuff there. And then if you're listening to us on the audio, Heroes World Podcast, thank you very much for listening. If you're on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating and a review. Helps us with the metrics and all that kind of stuff. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe, leave us a comment. That'd be great. And make sure if you subscribe, you'll get notifications for our live show, which Rob will talk about.
Andre?
Yeah, continue to keep commenting, liking, sharing. That really helps us. If you can't make it out to the store or can't curbside, you know, share some of our posts from either Instagram or Facebook. That helps tons because more people see it and maybe they want to support us by buying a product.
And a lot of people are doing it, so thank you very much.
Yeah. So continue to do that and join the conversation during our these podcasts. We will check out those comments, and there's some good discussions going on. And if you are available, tune into the Sidekick Show and talk live with the boys.
Andre, just in terms of January, in terms of curbside pickup, talk to us about how many days you guys are open right now and what's your situation like?
Oh yeah, so for January, we're still part of the lockdown of Ontario and the GTA. So we're gonna be open for curbside at least twice a week. We're looking at Wednesdays and Saturdays. So this is gonna give us time to put together the orders and stuff like that, and also give John and myself a little bit of a break. It's been a very, very stressful time for us as human beings, as business owners, and John's a father and helping with the online schooling and stuff. And I got to say, you know, on a personal level, I don't think I've ever felt, you know, this burnt out before. And this, you know, I don't know, I guess hard to pivot. You know, it's just it's been a very challenging time. We're doing our best.
It's also very heartbreaking. These people we would see every week and be a part of their lives, even for, you know, 5-minute stop in. Oh yeah, it kind of hurts not to be able to, you know, just interact with them normally. So yeah, we miss y'all.
For sure. Like you know, if I can just indulge it a bit, you know, for for the past 19 years, John and I have had a community center, you know, where people come in and we chat and we have these conversations, and you know, people just stop by. They don't have to buy something, but a lot of people stop by. And one of the things that I really enjoy about my job, I think why I continue to do it, is when I make that recommendation or suggestion and we talk about something, you give somebody that recommendation of that board game, that comic book, that model, help them with Warhammer, whatever it may be. There's such satisfaction and joy when they come back and say, oh, my kid loved that, or that was awesome, what's next, or what else do you got? That's my fuel, you know. And this year that's gone, you know. Like there's none of that. Over Christmas time, you know, stopping people at our door and saying, you have to wait here while I bring your product up, and they're like, can I come in? I'm like, no, you can't come in. And that makes it hard to recommend stuff. You can't keep recommending walking up and showing stuff, you know. And so we did our best, you know, but you know, it's just not the same. So we're going to take a little bit of this time. Hopefully the lockdown is done at the end of January, and we can be back up and running, fully recharged, and hopefully people can come in, even if it's at a modified, like, let 2 people in the store at a time. Right now they're not letting any of us have anybody in, and it's hard to express how much we enjoy all the stuff that we sell and are into via the internet. Like, I know you guys get a little bit of it through the podcast and through our shows and stuff like that, but it's not the same. The store experience isn't the same. You know, so hopefully we get a little bit of time to rest, recharge. 2 days a week. We will post up on those other. There might be some times where there'll be updates. There'll be bonus days, and you can arrange. If definitely shoot us messages, and we'll set up. Whatever we'll do our best. So if you hit us up with a message, like, let's say you really needed something or whatever, you know, and sometimes we are having shipments come in not on those 2 days, so we are going to try and be as you know, accommodating as we can. But also, if you guys can also help us out and understand too that this past 10 months, like I said, this is like a haymaker to us, you know. I feel pretty much destroyed at this point, you know, and I just need to be able to get the mind in a good place. So
yeah. No, I think, Andre, you hit the nail on the head with talking about the community that you guys have created, and that's one of the reasons why this podcast has been so important, just to connect with all those folks again, just for them to see you and for them to come on to the podcast, which was today, to, you know, let's have that same conversations that we would have had before, and just kind of bring back a little sense of normalcy, to talk to people that's not work related, talk about fun stuff that we like doing. So, you know, I thank everyone for listening, and thank you 3 for doing this on a consistent basis and having that dialogue and putting up with all.
Thank you, Stu. This wouldn't be possible without you. So Stu,
yeah, definitely.
Stu gets these gears going. So we'd be stuck in second gear.
Stu's the cat herder.
Yeah, that's sometimes a little too mean, as Rob would say, but it's been fun. So yeah, Rob, where can we find you at this standpoint?
Yeah, well, just Instagram and on Twitter at Rob Gadet. Just to kind of segue what Andre was saying about community is, like, listen, we've talked about this before. The Heroes World Sidekick show is on Monday nights at 8:00. We had John and I had a fun time throughout the month of December, doing the worst comic book movie brackets. John loved watching all of those. The best part, though, was the finale on the 28th, is when we had so many people join us in the comments through YouTube and Facebook, and were commenting because they had followed us along on this journey. We are doing it again, but we're doing 80s action movies, which is John's like bread and butter. He is excited for this. So please join us online on every Monday night at 8:00, Facebook, on YouTube. You can join us, talk about us, bring us your suggestions. We are building our bracket of what
of the best ones or the worst.
The best 8. Now we got to pivot.
We can't do worse anymore.
No, we got to pivot to. I hate the word pivot. It's so 2020, but we are moving towards a better outlook on the best 80s action movies. So please join us and be part of it. So as Andre said, it's a community. We value your input. We have a lot of individuals who come in and comment, and thank you for taking the time to listen to us and to participate.
Yeah. And again, we want to thank everyone for, as John and Andre saying, liking and sharing and posting. It really does help, and just to get the word out, as they said, just to get our exposure, just get more people to at least see it on their feeds. It's kind of a weird algorithm how it works. So even a small thing of liking, it doesn't a review, a comment, whatever might be the smallest of help. Even if you can't buy something from John and Andre right now, just do that, and that's super helpful for us to continue to grow the base and to get more people involved and to discover the store. Once everything's back to normal, we're gonna have a rager in Heroes World. It's gonna be off the chains. Both Rob and I will be outside throwing confetti as you walk into the store. It'll be great. We'll figure it out. So I think Rob
Right.
can actually use a bullhorn to deafen people as they walk in as I throw confetti.
I won't need a bullhorn. I'll just scream.
For the first
Like
hour, Rob's
Optimus
like, I need that
Prime.
bullhorn.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then an air cannon.
Air cannons. Like, it worked for the first 20
Yeah.
minutes, and now my voice is hoarse. So thank you all. Thank you for everyone who came on our best of 2020. That was super fun. We're gonna try some different things for the year. We have Rob said we're gonna have a fun post about all the things we're looking forward to, and it's gonna be super fun. 2021 is gonna be awesome. Let's continue on. We have WandaVision soon.
Yeah.
So maybe that will help
After
us
next.
a bit. So anyways, thank you all for watching, listening. Have a good one, comment, and peace out. See you guys later. Be safe.
Take care.
Peace
Bye,
out.
everyone.
So 1990.
Thank you.
Yeah. Later days.
Later days.
Later days.